Good morning, my plant-loving friends. Welcome to your Daily Plant Pulse, a podcast-styled series rooted in my deep fascination with plants. Here, plants go through a plant pulse research protocol where we uncover fascinating insights from scientific studies and share them with you. All studies I review are sourced in the description. I'm not a doctor, just someone who loves to research plants and present what I find. Our 9-part series takes you from an introduction to the plant through amazing studies and even an occasional bonus episode. Be sure to check out our Plant Pulse playlist where all of our episodes on all plants will be. And when a plant profile review is complete, explore our Living Library playlist for an in-depth consolidated review. We dig deep into history, forgotten studies, and untold stories so plants can have a voice and their story can be told. Welcome to episode 1, where we're all about getting to know plants. We'll dive into various plants' scientific identities, where they thrive naturally, their global journey, and the history and culture that gives plants their story. So let's get digging. Today, we're meeting the yam, nature's unsung powerhouse. This humble tuber helped spark the birth of modern hormone and steroid therapies, and it continues to nourish millions across tropical and subtropical regions. But if you ask me, the most remarkable thing about this plant isn't just its history, it's the untapped medicinal potential still waiting to be explored. So before we get into how this plant nourishes, heals, and adapts to different climates, let's start with what is. Because understanding a plant's identity, its structure, its family, and how it grows is the foundation for using it wisely. Let's begin with botanical identity. The genus is Dioscorea, family Dioscoreaceae. Common names include true yam, wild yam, greater yam, water yam, and more. It's important not to confuse these yams with sweet potatoes. Those are an entirely different plant genus, though we often call them yam in casual speech. True yams, Dioscoreae, are monocots from a separate lineage. Many species in the genus are tropical vines that produce large underground tubers or even aerial tubers, which are called bulbils. Some species of Dioscorea are listed as invasive in the U.S., particularly in the southeastern states, because they easily spread and compete with native vegetation. While some wild-type varieties of Dioscorea have been recorded in the U.S., most of the staple crop species are native to Africa, Asia, and Oceania. Yams naturally flourish in warm, tropical, and subtropical regions, often in humid forests on slopes or in fertile, loamy soils. They are common across West Africa, Southeast Asia, and Pacific Islands, parts of Latin America. In their native regions, many species climb trees or use other vegetation for support as vines and form large tubers underground during the dry season. This global presence means yams are both a staple food and a cultural phenomenon, but their medicinal and botanical significance runs far deeper. When it comes to production, West Africa stands out. Nigeria alone produces roughly 70% of the world's yam crop. Many communities rely on yams for daily sustenance and seasonal harvests. Other major producers include countries like Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, China, and Philippines. Over time, the crop spread via trade and migration to new regions. Historically, some Mexican yam species such as Dioscorea mexicana or Dioscorea composita were harvested in huge volumes for the extraction of the saponin diosgenin, which led to early steroid hormone manufacturing. Beyond production, yams hold deep cultural significance. In West Africa, the New Yam Festival celebrates the harvest and honors ancestral traditions. In parts of Asia, species such as Dioscorea japonica, or Chinese yam, appear in traditional medicine systems to support digestive or respiratory health. Indigenous communities in Latin America once harvested wild Dioscorea yam for both food and trade in the early Mexican steroid industry. These roots have fed people, healed people, and formed parts of rituals, making them far more than just a tuber in the ground. Now we shift to science. Russell E. Marker discovered how to extract diosgenin from wild Mexican yams and convert it to progesterone, a breakthrough that helped birth the modern pharmaceutical steroid industry. Modern research continues, and reviews of Dioscorea show the genus is rich in bioactive compounds, polysaccharides, saponins, and phenolics, and exhibits antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. But it's crucial to understand many of these benefits are preclinical or in vitro, and human evidence is limited, something we'll flag in the closing. So why should you care? Because yams represent a convergence of food, medicine, and culture, and they supply complex carbohydrates, support vulnerable food systems, and possess chemical pathways that humans only have begun exploring when we've synthesized hormones from them. For home gardeners or plant enthusiasts, learning about Dioscorea means gaining an appreciation of plant diversity, biochemical potential, and the global implications of a simple crop. By knowing the botanical identity and global distribution, you're empowered to view yams not just as dinner, but as a gateway to deeper plant understanding. And that's it for today's Plant Pulse. Our first look into a fascinating new plant in our growing library of natural wonders. There's so much more to explore, and in upcoming episodes, we'll dive deeper into its secrets, benefits, and the science behind it. I'm grateful you spent this time with me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are you most excited for us to cover on this plant? Have you heard of amazing results people have had who've used the plant? If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Together, we'll uncover the stories each plant has to tell, and until next time, let every moment bear fruit. The pulse continues.